What's up? All right, there we go. YouTube is working. Facebook is working. Simulcast of Zen with Renz, the Zen of Renz. So I want to welcome everybody. Let's give people a few minutes to get in. Some people, like I said, some people gonna be on YouTube. Some people gonna be on Facebook. What's up, John, Byron, William, Warren, Oscar? Akeem, if I'm saying that right. I don't want to mess up anybody's name, but I appreciate everybody who's coming on to the on YouTube and on Facebook. If you don't mind, hello, hey, Soulful Goddess. You guys kind of share this. I appreciate it if you share it. Dax, Lillian, how you doing? And keep on sharing. Is it Lillian? Is your birthday today, or is that somebody else's birthday? I saw that I said something to. I can get all the names right. But please share this, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Please share it. What's up, Byron? Lee? Yes, Lillian. I thought it was your birthday. So today, Lillian is on the YouTube feed. Today is her birthday, so I want to give her a shout out of happy birthday to Lillian. I'm not going to sing because that's not going to happen. I won't be to poison y'all eardrums, and we can do some singing. But like I said, please share. I wanted to share it myself, but I don't see how I can share it. At least on that one. So let me see if I can share it here. Oh, from YouTube I can share it. That's interesting. Can't share it on the other one now. Post. So I'm sharing it on YouTube right now. I'm sharing it from YouTube to Facebook, but I can't seem to share it from Facebook to another page of Facebook, which is quite interesting. Oops, sorry, I lost you for a second at YouTube because I shared it onto. Thank you for sharing, appreciate it. Hello, Miss Sheila and Denise and Travis. What's up, Travis? Old school. Got some old school folks here. And Tevin, Mr. Tevin in Barbados. I think he's Barbados. How you doing? Got Nori. Hey, Nori, how are you doing this evening, young lady? So we're just giving a few more minutes because y'all know I don't take that long before I get started. Yeah, I believe in keeping folks, keeping time and not, going too long. Probably only going to go about maybe an hour and a half. So if you got questions, please, throw your questions in there. If you're on the YouTube, you do a super chat. I appreciate it for supporting the channel. Before I get started, I want to go ahead and some of you may have seen on my Facebook page. For the YouTube people, you may not have seen this one, but on my Facebook page, I posted how we're going to start out 2017. We're going to do a seminar series. We're going to do my 1111 path to your greatness, financially on fire, handle your finances. Well, the 1111 path to your greatness is about getting yourself squared away, getting your life situated so that you can be a better person. Hey, Wendy, that's my sister. And hey, Steve. And then the financial on fire is about fixing your credit and getting into a financial program, not my financial program, but learning how to manage and do your finances and invest so that you can make money and become financially independent. And then then we're going to do a leadership, the hermetics of leadership. So if you're working anywhere, you're dealing anything like that, you need to learn about leadership, leading yourself, leading your family. So that seminar series is going to go every Saturday. The first 3 Saturdays of January is a 2-hour webinar. You can go to my website, Coach Renz /coaching, and you can see those seminars. You can pay for 2 and get 3. But that being said, what's up, Lee? We are about to get started. This conversation tonight is about breaking old habits, old bad habits, and creating new habits. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And how we do that and how we create that. Now, some of you guys have bought my book from my book, How to Escape Mental Welfare, from my webpage of CoachRenz.com. And so some of this information you're already you'll have some of this concept in your mind. And then some of you have seen videos that I've done about from books of Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. We talked about the Kabbalah and the Hermetics. I'm going to show you how all these things kind of work together. Too often, we find ourselves reading all these books, and these books are telling us information, but unfortunately, that information is kind of bland, right? Hey, Miss Anderson, it's kind of bland. you really don't get it. It really doesn't make that big of a difference in your life. So you start saying like, okay, so then you go on and you read the next book, and then you go on and you read the next book and the next book, and you went a whole year, you went 10 years, and your life hasn't changed. That's what happened to me back in the day when I first got into reading the self-help books and that sort of thing. I would read book after book after book after book, and I'm gonna go ahead and put her on blast right now because my sister is on here. Between her and my brother, they took all my books. I don't know where they at, but they better return my books. But I would read book after book after book, and then I was wondering, like, why isn't this stuff sticking? Why isn't my life changing? Why am I not seeing like these sweeping changes and my mindset? Why is my mind not changing? And I'm creating the new person, and I'm creating the new life, and everything is moving in the direction that I wanted to move in. And I came to a point where I was reading a Tony Robbins book at the same time I was reading the Zig Ziglar book, and in reading those books, both of them happened to have said you got to read this book over and over and over again for it to stick. So I did. I stopped reading like a book a week, and I started just focusing in on that one book. And then soon after that, I wrote my own book, and I started focusing in on reading my own book over and over again. Anytime that I've found myself in a position where I need to change my life, I go back and I read my own book, and I read it over and over and over again, right? So I'm reading my own book, and I'm reading 1 or 2 books at a time, but I'm reading the same book until it becomes ingrained in my mind. Now I'm going to tell you why that is so very important in a few minutes. But right now, let's look at, the main information that I'm going to be using tonight is my own book, How to Escape Mental Welfare. There's a book written by Napoleon Hill that wasn't published until 2011. He wrote it in 1938, but it's called Outwitting the Devil. And then, of course, as a hermeticist, I'm going to be talking about the Kabbalion and the 7 Hermetic principles. I'm not going to talk about them as direct as much as we're just going to discuss them. And of course, if you guys got questions, comments, don't hesitate. We listen. Hey, Dee, I'm waiting on you to get all your information so we can have our session, okay? So putting you on blast right there. She's on YouTube for the Facebook people. She's one of my clients. She's doing great. Here's the thing. How do we create bad habits? How do we create all our habits? That's right, get it done. How do we create all of our habits, right? Most of the time, I don't hear I'm on it. See, this is why you're listening to this, Dee, right now, because it needs to be done. See, if you become a client of mine, I'm not pulling any punches with you. I want it done. We got to get things done. But how do we create these habits? The first way we create our habits is through our upbringing, through our family members that we're around, through the culture that we grew up in, through our society. I mean, you learn most of the things you learn by watching your parents and watching your friends and watching all the people around you. Sure, 25% of your personality is innate. You were born with it. It's just who you are. But 75% of it is because you learned it, whether you realize it or not. If you saw your parents doing something over and over and over again, you will learn to do the exact same thing unless it causes you a tremendous amount of pain. I grew up watching my mother work 2.5 jobs to provide for 3 kids. I didn't see her saving money. She didn't have, it was hard for her to save money. I didn't see her investing. I didn't see her building a business. So I didn't watch that. I didn't see that. So of course, part of me is always of the mindset of you get a job and you work your job and you try to have your money and you try to have fun as best as you possibly can and pay all your bills. So me and my brother and sister really didn't learn investing and that sort of thing. It wasn't until I started reading books, The Richest Man in Babylon, I started reading other business books that I started realizing that there's this whole other world of finances out there. So I had to keep reading. I started reading, and then I started being in the Marine Corps. I'm meeting people who are investing. I'm meeting people who are wealthy. I'm, working in Europe at a headquarters command. I'm meeting these ambassadors and different people like that. So I'm starting to come into an understanding. But by the time I'm coming into this understanding, right? Hey, guys. By the time I'm coming into this understanding, I've already had all this cultural things, all these things that I've learned. Like I saw my grandfather start a business after, many, many years, Semper Fi. Yeah, girl, Miss Anderson, Semper Fi. But I saw my grandfather start a business. I knew that my dad had a business. I knew he had one. I hadn't seen it. I wasn't there. He lived in Florida. I knew my uncle had one, and I see it every now and then. But it wasn't until I was like 14, 15 years old that I started seeing these things. But many of your cognitive habits are developed by the time you're 7. By the time you're 7, you get a lot of this stuff all in your mind. So society teaches us all these habits. And where you grow up, if you grow up in the North, in the South, you grow up in another country, your culture, your societal culture, and your religious culture, your racial culture, so many of those things determine what your habits are. So you start to create these things. And by the time you're like 13, 14, all you're doing now is justifying most of those habits. You have it in your mind. And you say stuff like, well, that's just how I am, or this is just how my family is, or this is just how the world works, or this is just how the country is. And you start justifying why. You start saying that, well, I remember when I came back to America, people kept telling me, I was married at the time, I had one child, and everybody was like, it takes 2 families, it takes 2 incomes. But we haven't been doing 2 incomes. And when we was living in Florida, it was like we still didn't do 2 income. Our lifestyle was never based off 2 income. But people all around me kept saying that because that's what America was saying at the time in the mid 90s, late 90s, that it takes 2 income, it takes 2 income. But we was a 1 income household. And then when I wanted more for my family, it had to be done with 1 income. So I had to figure out how to do it with 1 income. So I got into careers, or I started companies that allow for the 1 income. But everybody else had this mindset that it takes 2 incomes. Even today, most people will say that it takes 2 incomes for a household. But that's really a conditioning that you have. True, we didn't have a new car. Many people I knew around me had 2 new cars. We had 2 used cars. Many people had brand new houses. The house we was in was 20 years old, but it was nice in a nice area where my kids go to school. It could be done with 1 income, but society will tell you it takes 2. Society would do that. So some of your habits are created because the society around you has done that. But see, I had read a book way back in 93, 92 called The Richest Man in Babylon. And from reading that book, I understood that it only took 1 income. 1 income is all you ever base your household on, and you never live above 70% of your income. So that's just how it went in my brain. So it didn't matter what other people had done. And I used that book to get to fix my credit. I used that book to the concepts of that book to fix my credit, to get out of debt, to do a whole bunch of financial things, which is part of Financially on Fire. But I used that book. But many other people couldn't grasp that. They couldn't understand it. So, but your habits are created because you listen to that and you believe that, and you start doing whatever these people are telling you to do, and you start following it. So that's how we form our habits. And what Napoleon Hill, he calls those hypnotic rhythm. That you get into this hypnotic rhythm. When he's talking about this in Outwitting the Devil, he's saying that your fear and parents and government and ministers and teachers all get you into this hypnotic rhythm of living a life that's really not beneficial to you. And that's the sad part about it. Most of your habits are not good for you. Look at your eating habits. Most people's eating habits are horrible for them. Most people, the way you breathe. I see so many people, and I pay attention to these things, and call me crazy because I am somewhat crazy, right? Yes, get the book Outwitting the Devil. It's a great book. But call me crazy, but I watch people breathe, and I see most people are breathing shallow from the chest or the throat, right? They're breathing from the throat or their chest. But babies breathe from their belly. When you do meditations and when you do yoga, they tell you breathe from your belly, not from your chest, not from your throat. If I'm not correct, when you sing, you're supposed to sing from like the diaphragm down, not diaphragm up, for the most part. So why people walking around, they don't even know how to breathe. Something that's automatic that you originally knew how to do, but you watched other people breathe shallow, and so now you breathe shallow, right? And in all honesty, that creates a bunch of problems within your blood system. You breathing shallow, you're not getting enough oxygen into your body. So simple. I mean, that's a simple habit that we pick up. That's a simple habit we pick up just watching, and I just watch people, you know. She says she's a massage therapist, and she watches people, yeah, and they do that as well. Exactly. I mean, it's simple things. It's simple little hypnotic rhythm things that we do that we can make some small changes. Hey, Ann, that's my cousin. Simple changes that could change how your life is, right? How you do things. Our money habits are one of the easiest things for us to change, but we make it one of the most difficult things. Our health is one of the most easiest things for us to change, but we make it difficult. A lot of y'all are going to disagree with this one probably. Our relationship, yeah, the audiobook for Outwitting the Devil is good to listen to. Our relationship habits, we can change them. We can blame the person in our past. We can blame our family members. We can blame what we didn't see growing up. But really is what we're doing today. The habits that we have today that's ruining relationships left and right. Hey, even picking the right person. We have bad habits towards that one. So these habits, they and that's the main thing I want to focus on. Your money, your relationship, and your health. And we're going to see like how can we make some changes. Now, the first thing that you have to understand about making changes, because I don't want to belabor on, well, I have a bad habit of doing this and I have a bad habit of doing that. And this one time, this dude with the left eye and all kind of habits. We ain't got time for all that. All right. We want to get into how we fix it. It's good. Let's understand it. Let's know that we got some bad habits. You know what your bad habits are. So how do we change them? And the change is pretty much universal. Because we change our habits by changing our mind. Now, many people are going to already say, well, I knew that. But most of us are only thinking about our conscious brain. We'll say some stuff all the time. We'll write some affirmations up on the wall. We'll have affirmations that we walk by. It's on our mirror. It's on the wall at work. It's on our desk. We got it in the car. You got affirmations. You read whatever religious book you go by. You got that. And you do all these affirmations. And then you pray. And you meditate, and you're doing all this front brain, this conscious brain work. You're praying, but you're begging instead of commanding the universe, commanding what should be yours. You're begging, or you're meditating, and you can't stay focused, or you claim that you can't stay focused. So you're not you're doing all this with your conscious brain, but all the while your subconscious brain is saying no. That's not what I heard. You saying that. Let me give you an idea. You say, I'm tired of being broke. That's what you say in your conscious brain. And to you, that's a positive thing. Like, I'm tired of being broke. Yeah, I'm tired of it. Your subconscious brain hears, yeah, you are tired of being broke. That's exactly right. You are tired of being broke. So now you're just going to be broke and you're going to be tired because that's what you are. You're stating what you are, and your subconscious brain is registering that, and that's what it's going to be. So when you say, okay, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to start a company. Well, your subconscious is sitting up there saying, no, you're tired and you're broke. So you can't do anything that's going to make you money. So you'll probably either never start the company, you'll procrastinate, you'll sit up there and make every excuse in the world, or you'll do something and you'll start something, but it won't be a real company, or you'll start something and it's you won't do the necessary things in order to make it successful, and your company goes out of business and you're still broke because your subconscious has said, no, you're supposed to be broke and tired, because that's what I heard. I heard broke and tired. I'm tired of being fat. Well, your subconscious is going to say, yes, you're tired of being fat, so it's going to keep you there. So every time you try to break the habit, your subconscious says, no, we can't break that habit. We got to maintain that habit. So you go back and you stay and you're stuck. And then you wonder, how do I get out of it? How do I break this thing? Right? I recently read The Power of Habits. It's required reading. It was required reading. Okay. I can check that one out. But your brain is telling you that. It's saying, like, I'm tired. Or, yes, this is what I am. Because they're not in alignment with one another, right? They're not joined together. And in order to break a habit, your subconscious and your conscious mind can't be versus one another, but they have to be joined and in agreement with one another. They have to come to an agreement. It's like two minds. We always say if two minds that are in agreement come together, you're more powerful, right? Well, you got two minds, right? You got male and female energy. You got two hemispheres of your brain. It all has to come together in order for it to work, because otherwise your vibrational pattern is going to stay on the same portion of the polarity scale. You may have little swings here and there. You make a little money, then you lose it. You lose the 5 pounds, then you gain it back. You have a couple of good weeks of loving relationship, then it goes right back. You'll swing. You'll go back and forth, but you haven't learned how to polarize. and just stay on one side, how to vibrate so that you stay right here. And maybe you only grow, right? You just grow some more and then you stay over there a little bit. You grow some more and you stay over there. You haven't figured that part out because your brain is not working together, right? So how do we get that? Now, unfortunately, for most people, in order to break a habit, they got to go through something very traumatic. When I owned a gym here in Alpharetta, I had this one client. For 3 years, she would come and work out. She was so frustrating to me because I had a 100% success rate with anybody who stayed with me for more than 3 months. More than 3 months, and you were successful. 3 years, we yo-yoing. She lose 25, she gained 30. She lose 30, she gained 25. We kept going back and forth, back and forth. She was getting on my last nerve. And it was always something. She lose the weight, but then, she hurt her leg and she gained it all back. She lose the weight and, we're going on these family trips, family vacations, and she gained it all back. She lose the weight, these big projects at work, and she's not eating right, she's not exercising, she gained it all back. Drove me insane. Until one time, her and her sons are going to Six Flags. They're finally tall enough that they can ride the rides. Right? They're tall enough. They can ride everything. So they're finna go to Six Flags and have a good time. Celebration. So they get to Six Flags. They try to get on the first ride. They tell her that she's too big to get on the first ride. They go over to the Georgia Cyclone. You're too big to ride the Georgia Cyclone. They go over and they want to ride the Mind Bender. You're too big to ride the Mind Bender. Every ride that they tried to get on, she was deemed too big to ride the ride. She was incredibly embarrassed. She was so embarrassed having to, you know how when you can't ride it, you have to step across and go to the other side? She had to step across, go to the other side, and let her sons ride it. The entire trip was a disaster. So she felt so much pain from that moment that when she came into the gym and told me that story the next day, I saw a new person. I saw it finally click in her brain. All of a sudden, her subconscious and her conscious mind were one because she felt so much pain. And from that moment, she lost 150 pounds. And to this day, because she's on my Facebook, she's never went back. She's always maintained that loss. And because she's on my Facebook and because I respect her, I'm not going to tell you guys what her name is. That's just not going to happen. But she lost it all. But she had to feel pain. Do you have to become homeless in order for you to get your finances right? Do you have to suffer through multiple divorces before you get your relationship right? Or do you have to suffer through being in constant argument and your relationship, maybe you're together, but being together is hell. Being together is complete and utter hell, just being together. And I've seen couples who have been together for 40 and 50 years, and although people may celebrate them on their anniversary, if you look inside their marriage, you see that they are completely unhappy, that they don't like each other, that they don't hang out with each other, that they don't show any love towards each other. I'd rather be divorced 50, 11 times. I'd rather be on a desert island by myself with a dang on soccer ball that I call Wilson instead of being in a relationship with somebody that I cannot stand and I got to see them every day. No, I say hell no to that. I say I'd rather find true love. I'd rather get myself together, release my negative habits that's causing problems within a relationship, find somebody else who either has or getting theirs together so we can have a positive relationship and then move forward in that relationship and know that I got to constantly, and she knows that we got to constantly do the work to maintain the higher, to polarize on one side by ensuring that these bad habits don't stick. Which would you rather be in? That's the question. Which one would you rather be in? Do you want your health to get so bad that you got to have a stroke before you start doing something? That you got to get embarrassed because you can't get on a roller coaster? Or you got to have diabetes, you got to get a foot cut off before you realize that there are habits that you need to change? How many things have to go wrong in your life before you start making that change? Now, I want you to be able to do it from a point of joy, right? Unfortunately, most people have to go through that pain. But there is a way to do it from a point of joy. There is a way to do it from a point of joy. Let me tell you how. Because I learned how to get the best out of myself through joy, right? And that is through having small victories. There is an idea. I can give you $5,000. And with $5,000, you can probably go on maybe 3 or 4 trips. If you're real tight with the money, you can probably go on, 5 or 6 trips. Or you can take that $5,000, go stay in a hotel or rent a house that costs you like, $12,000 a night. Eat the best food, get just live life up as if you normally spend $5,000 on a weekend trip. Go experience the $5,000 on a weekend trip. Feel and internalize the joy. The way you, when I was a sales manager for New Horizon Computer Learning Center, when I would go out on a sales call, I would go into my bank, pull out like as much money as I could, put that money in my pocket. It might be $2,000 that I got in my pocket. I'm going into this meeting, and because I know I got $2,000 in my pocket, I'm feeling some kind of way about it. I'm feeling really good. I'm on a high because I got $2,000 in my pocket, and in my brain, I'm saying that this is mine to spend on anything I want to spend, even though I know I got to take this back and pay rent. But having it there made me feel like I have accomplished something. So that confidence going into that meeting was totally different. I usually came out with the sale. When I would take these trips and I would, live it up, stay in some of the best hotels, go do some of the best things, it made me want that more because I internalized how good that felt, right? And by feeling that way, it made me grow. It made me like go after things more. It made me be more focused on the things that I want to accomplish. Nori said, I'd rather do it from the point of joy because, like most have experienced, the pain. Do you want to go that route anymore? Right, I don't want to go that route anymore. But that's one of the ways of doing it from a point of joy, is you got to go out and have those victories. I didn't care if I only took one vacation a year, but if I'm going to take that one vacation a year, it's going to be like magnificent. I'd rather take that one trip than take a bunch of BS trips that made me realize that I didn't have any money. When you go on the cruise and yeah, you enjoy the cruise, but you can't do nothing on the boat. You can't buy nothing on the boat. You can't buy and go on none of the excursions. You can't do any of those things. Last cruise I went on, it was like I'm getting off the boat in Cozumel. I got my kids and my wife, and we finna get, we're going to rent the Jeep, and we're going to drive all around the island. We're going to go to all the beaches on the island, and we're going to go to some restaurants that we wanted to go. Well, I wanted to go to Senor Frog because I like Senor Frog. But, we finna go do it. We're going to go to the Dolphin Skirt thing because I want to. That was all we just did. Everything we wanted to do, and that was like one of 2 vacations I took that entire year because I'd rather do that. I'd rather go to the nice restaurant than go to a little cheap restaurant. I'd rather do things out of joy. And then what I want to do is replicate that experience. You want to replicate that experience over and over again. And you're going to hear me say that you got to replicate, and replicate. Now, what's another way that you can change your mind to make things work for you? Well, another way you can create good habits to manifest good things in your life. One is to do things that are logical and make sense. I was expressing to a friend of mine earlier today that, okay, so she wants to work out. She wants to lose weight. Well, she wants to lose weight, but she knows she has to work out. Now, sure, the gym that is past her house on her way from work is a better place. It's a better gym. It's nicer. It's cleaner. It got more energy, better energy in it. Sure, it's nicer. Now, the one that's closer to her job, that's on her way before she gets home, is still nice, but not as nice. But it's still nice. You set a trigger that says that I'm going to go to the one that's in between my house and my job because if you're in, I don't know where y'all live, but in Atlanta, I don't care if you're going 5 miles, the traffic can take you 20 minutes, right? And if you got to go 20 minutes in traffic, getting frustrated because somebody cut you off, getting irritated because people are in your way, all that kind of stuff, then guess what happens? You're going to be so frustrated that when you get to your exit, you're going home. Because now I just want to go home and change clothes and get me some wine and have some dinner and watch TV. And that's what you're going to do. But instead, if you stopped at the gym that's on your way, before you leave work and the gym is right around the corner, you go to that gym, you work out, you're creating a trigger. And then because you work out, traffic might be a little less, maybe not, but it doesn't matter because now by the time you get in traffic, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, Atlanta traffic is horrible. It's the worst thing in creation. So I will be leaving all you Atlanta people. My son graduates in 2 years. I'll be leaving y'all. Internet means I can do business anywhere. But the traffic. So I was telling her, I was like, look, you got to go to the gym that's in between. Because if you keep trying to go to the one that's past your house, you might go Monday, but you're gonna miss Tuesday and Wednesday. You might go Thursday, but then you're gonna miss Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, you're gonna feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna start over. No, you got to hit the one that's on the way so that you learn their class schedules. You learn, to go over there and get used to and build your energy there, and you hit that one, and then you go home. That way you get it done. Then you're gonna go on Monday. You'll go on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and on Friday if you're doing a 5-day plan. So you'll go all the days you're supposed to go because you're creating that trigger that's making it convenient for you. If the more obstacles you remove from setting up your new habit, the better. I like to read. I do like to read. The current book I'm reading right now is this one. It's called The Cabal, right? This is my current book that I'm reading. I'll read this book 11 times. And I've already read it. I've been reading this book for like 20 years. I've been reading the book, right? So I've been reading this book for 20 years. As a matter of fact, at my store right now, I have a meetup group, Hermetic Alchemist group, and we meet here every Wednesday night. And this is the book that we're going over right now. But the thing about it is, I'll read that book, but I have to have a trigger. See, if I wait and say, well, I'm going to read the book every day at 1 o'clock. Well, I know for me, at 1 p.m., I might have a customer coming in the store. I may not. I may have to do a phone call. May not. You're gonna have to come to Atlanta to be a part of that group, young lady. And I think you're in Florida. But I can't. I know 1 o'clock is not going to work because I can have all kind of interruptions and obstacles. So if you can have interruptions and obstacles, then you're setting yourself up to fail in creating a new habit. So what I had to tell myself is that you should only have one, but I picked two. I picked two because my days differ. I picked two. And one is I'm going to read the book when I first get in the gym and I'm doing my 20 minutes of cardio, and I'm going to read for 20 minutes while I'm doing cardio. Or because I don't go to the gym every day. See, that's why I got two triggers, because I don't go to the gym every day. The second one is I'm going to read the book during the after. So I have other rituals that I do when I get up in the morning. So after my morning ritual, after I meditate in the morning, then I'm going to read. I'm reading right after my meditation. That way I know I'm going to read it every day. I'm going to read every day. I'm going to keep reading this book. And right now in my life, I'm probably going to read this book over and over and over again, probably until about mid-spring is when I'll probably stop. I want to pretty much have it memorized by mid-spring. But don't set up habits. Mm-hmm. Don't set up obstacles. Don't set yourself up to have obstacles that will mess you up. I'm laughing because I just got a little message from the person who I was talking to earlier today about stopping on their way. Not going past their house, go to the gym, and I don't care. You can be mad all you want to. But anyway, don't set up obstacles. If you set up obstacles, it's always going to fail you. So let's say you're in a relationship, right? And you're in a relationship with somebody, and you guys want to have date night. You pick a night for date night, right? Don't pick a day that you may have problems. Like, let's say somebody travels and their travel schedule is different, so you can't have that time frame. Let's say that you got kids and your kids are into sports and their sports are run you guys ragged over the weekend. Then maybe your date night need to be Friday or Thursday. Maybe it need to be on Thursday night as your date night, because if you got kids and they're into every little sport, and that could exhaust you on the weekend, and then you don't want to have date night. So do it on Thursday. You have to set it up so that it doesn't create obstacles for you, because the more obstacles you have that interfere, then the less likely it is to happen. So you need it to happen. You need to make sure. I've had relationships where people didn't know how to communicate with each other. So in order for them to communicate better, they had like a talking stick. So whoever holds the stick is talking. and you got to listen, and then they give it, when they're done, they can give it to the other person, but you can't interrupt them while they have the talking stick. Nori said, I was reading in the book mentioned, it pointed out that a habit is formed by a cue, routine, or reward. Exactly. That's how habits are formed: cues, routines, and rewards. I was talking a video I did a while back. I said something to the effect that when I find myself falling into procrastination, or I can't remember what I was about to do, I clap my hands. That's a cue for me to, oh yeah, I need to get up and I need to keep moving. Or, oh, I forgot something because my brain had too much going on, and it like snaps me back. But I can set up a cue. And then rewards, right? This is why you got to reward yourself. You can't put yourself in a situation where all you're doing is grinding and there's no reward. You will stop. You'll stop it in a heartbeat. You won't do it. I used to always tell when I owned the gym, I used to always tell my clients, like, look, in all things in moderation. I'm not saying you can't have cake. You can have cake. Getting back to YouTube. There we go, YouTube. You're back. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. I don't know. I had Wi-Fi issues earlier today. Took up like an hour of my day. But anyway, so set up some rewards. Set up some rewards for yourself as well. I was going to get to that one, but setting up rewards. And then here's the other big thing. It's about repetition. You got to do it repeatedly, over and over and over again. Sometimes people, they'll ask me questions like, how is it that I can think historical facts, if we're talking about certain subjects, the historical facts, who wrote what, when, where, why, all this kind of stuff, I can just tell you. Like I did a video about Josephus ben Matthias, and I can just tell you about it not because I read it one time, but I've read about Josephus like 11 times. I read about the Medici family 11 times. I've read about Egypt and the Americas, the Hopi Indians and the Aztecs and the Mayans, and I've read about them like over and over and over again. And I listened to videos and documentaries about different ancient cultures over and over and over again. I've read the Kabbalion over and over and over again. I've read the Bible, the Vedics, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita. I've read all kind of other ancient manuscripts over and over again, the Emerald Tablets over and over again. And because I've read them over and over and over again, then it becomes a part of my brain. My subconscious brain has heard it. You can't tell your subconscious brain something one time and expect it to know it, believe it, understand it, and live with it. You have to do it over and over and over again, right? Sounds like you good. But you do. That's how you do it. That's how it gets in your brain. That's how your subconscious starts to understand it and your subconscious starts to live it, right? If you only tell your subconscious brain one time that smoking is going to kill me, smoking cigarettes is going to give me lung cancer, and that's the only time you tell it, and that's the only time you make it emotionalized, then it doesn't really get it. It's like, what? It's just words. That's all I heard is words. You got to tell it over and over and over again. You got to reinforce it over and over again. You got to have pictures of it. You got to have things that causes you to feel a certain way about it every time it happens. You have to do it over and over again. It's like, you remember when you first fell in love? Like when you first fell in love, and every time you saw him or her, you had that feeling. And you wanted to say stuff. You wanted to do stuff for them. You just, oh, I love you. Just want to see you. And just want to, that emotion that you had. In order to have a great relationship, you got to keep carrying that emotion over and over again. Whatever triggered you to have that emotion for that person, you got to keep doing it. My grandmother used to say, whatever you did to get her, you got to do twice as much to keep her. Right? That's what my grandma used to tell me when I was like, I think I was like 12. But here's the thing. She kept saying it. I'm serious. From like 12 to, heck, I think when I left, I was 18, 19 when I left. To 19, my grandmother kept saying, whatever you did to get her is what you got to do to keep her. You got to do twice as much to keep her. So that's right. I got 4 people here with the goddess in their name. All my goddesses saying yes, and that's right. But yes. That's what she kept saying. You got to do twice as much to keep her. You got to do just as much to keep her. You got to, and what that made me say is that whatever I did to make her have that feeling, I got to keep doing it to make her keep having that feeling. If back in the day, I used to stop at the gas station and get them little, the little gas station roses, and I would just bring the gas station roses. I'm a door opener. Like, I even do it to, I was my mom. I used to do it, open my mom's door. I ain't never opened my sister's door. I used to open my mom's door, and now, if you're a woman and you're with me, if you open the door, I'll make you get back in the car. Because it's just so ingrained that's what's, I gotta have like my arm, I'm carrying everything in the world for it not to happen. And depending upon what's going on, I still might make you wait, right? And it's not because you can't open the door, but it's the courtesy of opening the door. Now, put that into my girl, my woman, the woman she needs to know that I'm gonna take care of her like that all the time. I'm gonna bring her the whatever it is that made her feel giddy all the time. Too often, but see, here's the conflict. People are told, oh, once you get into the relationship, all that kissy, honeymoony stuff goes away. You've been told that so many times that your subconscious says, okay, we do this stuff, we get them, we do this stuff to get them. We go on the honeymoon, and they say that this stuff lasts for 3 years. So the first 3 years of the marriage, I'm still doing it. I'm still dressing nice for him. I'm still dressing nice for her. I'm still keeping myself in shape for him and her. I'm still doing these things. Oh, but they said that after 3 years, you can start letting that stuff go. They said that after you have a baby, you can start letting that stuff go. They say that if you're building, your career, you can kind of let that stuff go. And that as you get older, you get into a groove. Then you get your married groove in. And see, you've been told that, so subconsciously that's in your brain. So your brain clicks when you hit 3 years, and all of a sudden you start letting stuff go, and then you get to about year 7, and y'all pissed off, and y'all frustrated, and y'all been arguing because things ain't the same as it was when you met him, and you don't understand it. And he's saying, well, you let yourself go, and you saying, well, you don't date me no more. And there's all this conflict now, and next thing you know, y'all ready to break up, or you're stepping outside the marriage and cheating on one another. Why? Because society gave you a habit, conditioned you into a habit to say that stuff don't last, that it's impossible for you to be on a honeymoon for the rest of your life. Society has told you that. Your mom, your dad, your school teachers, they've all told you that. Even the pastor done told you that. They all telling you that. Yeah, sure, when you get married and you go through counseling, they tell you got to keep working on it. But after that, they don't. Then they just tell you to pray. They don't tell you to do no action. They don't tell you to put your feet on the ground and get the work done. They don't tell you to go back to that time frame and relive get back into that mode. For the ones who do, they ain't serious about it. Because they ain't saying that to you the next week. They ain't saying it to you the week after that. They ain't saying it to you the week after that. It's what is done in repetition is what you start to do. I'm not about to pick on churches right now, but this is just a perfect example because I've said this so many times before. Imagine, if you will, if a church recognized every business in that church, had it where people can easily go to those businesses in that church, and if every week that pastor spent 5 minutes telling everybody in that church to shop with these business owners, that before you get your hair done somewhere else, go get your hair done with them. Before you call the carpet guy, get your carpet done by him. Before you go and buy that dress, go to her dress shop. Before you go to that other restaurant, go to their restaurant. If they did that every week, you would be conditioned. You would create a habit of going and shopping with those people in your congregation, and you'll circulate your dollar, and you'll build business, you'll build community, and next thing you know, your community has less wants and less needs. But they don't do that, so the habit is not there. Yeah, they might have that once a month thing or they once a year thing, but they don't do it every week. What do they do every week? Give me your money. Tithe. They don't skip a week without saying something about tithes. They don't skip a week without inviting people to come and join their religion. And this happens in all religions, not picking on just one. This is all religions. I've been into mosques, I've been to synagogues, I've been to temples. They all do it. Every week they tell you to give money. But every week they don't tell you that you need to be shopping and doing business with one another. I would even love to see a church every week tell all the married couples to stand up, give each other a hug, play 1 minute of some nice music and tell them, if you can't dance, just rock with one another, holding and embracing one another every week. What would happen to married couples if every week they're being reinforced by their spiritual leaders to show each other tenderness and love like that every week? I think it'll make a difference. I believe it'll make a difference, because that's what repetition does. What we do over and over again, it creates us. I hate thinking about a negative connotation, but a young lady just said this. I was listening to this other young lady's video, and she said this, and it just hit home with me so hard. She said that there are 7 billion people on the planet. You mean to tell me that the news only got 10 stories to talk about? That every news channel is only talking about the same 10 stories? That only 10 things happened in the world right now? But every news channel is telling you the same story, and they say it over and over and over and over and over, and you get fearful, and you get fearful, and you think the world's coming to an end, and you think that the country's going to hell in a handbasket, you think the world going to hell in a handbasket, you think that everything's so tragic because they keep telling you the same 10 negative stories over and over and over and over again, and they keep on telling you, and as soon as they run out of a little bit of it, they find something else about it, or they dredge up some other one until the next horrible story come up, and then they ram that down your throat over and over and over and over again, because they know that repetition will set your mindset. It will set you up. So let's set ourselves up for something positive. Let's set ourselves for something positive. I want somebody to tell me a habit that they want to create, right? Right. And see, the news is set up that way. I want somebody to tell me the news is a setup. And I want somebody to tell me a habit that they want to create. Because I don't want this to just be me running my mouth, and people agreeing with my mouth running, Now, I'm going to tell you, Facebook, y'all doing horrible. YouTube is wearing y'all out right now. YouTube is, they talking. Y'all Facebook, y'all quiet. Y'all need to say something. Y'all quiet. But I want to know a habit. What's a habit that you guys are you want to create? Or a habit you want to break? Habit you want to create? One or two. It doesn't matter. Just give me one, and we're going to break it down. Right? See, I'm putting myself out right now, because somebody might say something that I can't handle. But the difference is that I developed a habit a long time ago. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. There was a period of my life as a kid where I was a stone cold liar. I would lie even when I didn't even need to lie. I mean, lying became such a habit for me that I didn't even need to lie sometimes, but I would tell a lie anyway. I would exaggerate the story and just lie, right? Because I got into such a habit of lying. And then it wasn't until my daughter Sydney was born in 1995, and I'm looking at my daughter and I'm thinking, I don't want my child to become a liar. I don't want her to be a liar like her father. So from like 95 to 96, I reconditioned myself to not lie. Now, I give warnings to people. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. Don't ask me a question if you don't want both sides of the answer, because all I'm going to do is tell you the truth. So don't ask if you really don't want to know. So I don't lie, Now, there is one type of lie. Lying by omission. Sometimes I just don't tell you everything. Depends on what you ask. You don't ask the right question, you ain't going to get the right answer. But I know that's a form of lying. But come on. Let's run through somebody's habits. I know you guys got some habits you want to break. Y'all embarrassed? And now if you're embarrassed to express something, all right, there we go. All right. I don't know how to call you, but stop spending unnecessary money. Reading more and retaining more of what I need, or what I read. Okay, first we're going to handle stop spending unnecessary money. All right, in order to break the habit of spending unnecessary money, the first thing, this is actually quite simple. I could just easily say, go read The Richest Man in Babylon and apply the principles of the 7 Habits of a Lean Purse and the 5 Rules of Gold. But I am going to say that. Go read The Richest Man in Babylon, apply the 7 laws to a lean purse, 7 cures to a lean purse, and the 5 laws of gold. But the short, down, dirty version of that is this. First, create a budget. No, not create the budget. Sorry. I'm putting the cart before the horse. First, I need you to, hopefully you've been using cards a lot, but go and pull your bank transaction for the last 3 months. Label each thing as to what category they fall on. Categorize every expenditure that you spent money on, right? And you can use a program like Microsoft Money or QuickBooks or something like that and see where you've been spending your money. Because the first thing you need is a reality check. You know, our memory sucks, right? So if you haven't been, now if you've been keeping a register, you've already done this, and you're still doing it, I'm gonna talk real bad about you. But you need to see the reality of where you've been spending your money. I mean, I can tell you, I did that when me and my kid's mother broke up in 2008, and I realized I was spending like $600 a month in food. I was like, oh hell no! I went and looked at where I was spending money. Oh, we shut that down. So first, seeing the reality of where you're spending your money can make a huge difference because you see where it's going. Now, once you break that down and you see where you've been spending your money, now take all your I almost bit my tongue. Take all your necessities. Take your necessities and see what they add up to. If they're adding up to more than 70%, we have a problem. If they're more than 70%, then we got to get rid of some expenditures, right? Food is a problem. All right, so if food is a problem, then now we're getting into it. So if food is the problem, you're spending way too much money on food. How's your health? If you need to lose some weight, then we're gonna solve two problems at the same time. Now, if food is too much of a problem, are you spending it outside, like restaurants and fast food and that sort of thing? If that's the case, you need to learn how to start cooking. And I don't want to hear nothing about I'm too busy. That just means planning. That's all that means is planning. That you got to start, maybe you got to food prep on Sunday or whatever day you're off. You food prep for the week and you plan. You go to the grocery store one time and you get everything that you need so that you can plan correctly. And you have a good, healthy diet and start eliminating as much meat as you possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've been like 90% vegetarian for the last 5 weeks, and I've lost over 25 pounds. I did have a little hiccup, but that hiccup made me feel so bad that I'm going to say that right now I'm like 97% vegetarian. But I'm never going to go full vegan because I got to have cream with my coffee. But so you need to start cooking at home. Start cooking and eating more raw fruits and vegetables. You'll lose weight, you'll feel better, you'll have more energy, but you'll also start not spending as much money on food. If part of your trigger is that you're getting off work late and you're stopping at fast food restaurants, then you need to have you a snack ready and prepared for you to eat right before you leave work so that you're not eating, you don't feel hungry on the road and you don't see all the signs that they keep putting up so that you will stop and get something to eat and know that you got to get home. You start doing that and creating that habit, you'll spend less money on food and you'll feel better, lose weight, have more energy. Now, that'll help you to start saving money. And as you look at other areas that you've been spending money, then you'll be able to start changing those as well. If you're spending too much money, when you go out and hanging out with whomever you hang out with, see how you're spending your money. You can be more creative, right? Like right now, there's some things I want to do in business. I'm not spending that much money. You know, most dates going to be very creative. Your blanket, park, picnic, good date, you know, change something, cook some food. We're eating cooked food. We're not going out all the time. So you can do that. I need to start cooking. Man, I'm telling you, when I started cooking, my grocery bill went from $600 a month and it dropped down to about $250 where it should have been, right? All right, eat chicken tastes good and it's cheap. True. Let's see, one of them I saw, read more and retain more of what I read. Tell you what, when you read, this is very simple because I had a young lady, she was one of my sales reps and I needed her to increase her vocabulary. So what I had her do was not only read the dictionary and the thesaurus, but to copy it. So when you read, copy it, write it down. You can take notes and notes are good. Like I can take notes and retain information because the note creates the whole paragraph for me. If the note can't create the whole paragraph for you, then copy it, write it down. Like take this book, read a page, write the page, read a page, write the page, and you'll start to retain that information a lot better, right? Love on my wife more and grow my small business. All right, growing your small business, I would need to know a lot more about your small business as far as in how to grow your small business. Love on your wife more. Now, let me ask you a question. How did you love on her when you first met her? What did you do then? What did you do to make her fall in love with you? Go do that. Go do the things that made her fall in love with you, and do that. Also, condition yourself. Every time you see her, hug her. Every time you see her, kiss her. And don't be kissing her like she's your sister. Don't be kissing her like, mwah. Don't nobody want that. Give her a real kiss, man. Kiss her like you mean it. Like, get all up in there. Like, hand on the back of the head, hand through the hair. All up in here. Get all up in there. Don't be doing that little pump kissing stuff. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. Actually, there was a study done over 30 years that showed that men who husband and wives who kissed each other deeply, they actually earn more money. So kiss her for real, and don't come in there doing that little fake stuff. And you want to love her more, go for walks with her, hold her hand, show her more attention, right? Even if she doesn't start showing it to you immediately, keep doing it anyway. Because she may think you faking it, And you can let her know, I want our relationship to be better. I want it to grow. So I'm going to show you all this extra love. Because I want us to get back to that. Okay, Linda said, working and forgetting to eat during the day, eating too late after 8 o'clock. All right, Linda, easily set alarms. You have a phone, you have a digital phone that has alarms. Set alarms to remind yourself for the time frame you should be stopping and eating. Set alarms. And Miss Sanders said, I literally just learned how to breathe by practicing yoga 2 months ago. I'm still finding myself in the habit of shallow breathing. When you're doing it and you want to breathe deeper, put your hand on your stomach so that your energy is focused there. Like if we was doing a chakra breathing for your for your power chakra, then I would tell you to hold on to it so that you can focus your energy into your stomach. So put your hand there as a reminder, because you have that chakra that's in your stomach, but you also have 2 chakras that are in your hands, and connect those chakras together and focus on your breathing that way. Let's see, eating habits. Yes, that's what I do. I read and writing at the same time. Exactly. Yes, tongue her down. That's exactly right. This is interesting because doing it on both is kind of fun. So like I said, keep your hand on your stomach when you're breathing. You'll breathe a lot deeper. And if you are doing yoga, then you're focusing on chakras. If they're telling you to work on your heart chakra, put your hand on your heart chakra so that your energy is coming there. Put your hand where it needs to be. Then after a while, your body will become accustomed to that. Your mind, your subconscious and your conscious brain will get together, and then you'll be able to breathe deeper. But definitely when you want to belly breathe, then put your hand on your stomach and feel it expanding all the way out. I know you're taught to hold your stomach in all the time, but by putting your hand on your belly, you'll belly breathe and you'll get much more oxygen into your system, and you'll be breathing in where you're drawing that energy in while you're doing your yoga. You just got J. Shinko Anderson. I think I'm saying the Shinko part right. I'm not sure. I might be saying it wrong. But that'll help you out a lot in that category. Let's see. We got some other habits. I got thumbs up for tonguing her down on YouTube. So for those who just joined, this is on YouTube and Facebook. So that's why I'm looking up and down, up and down. Maybe one day I'll figure out how to do it side by side. But and we're talking about breaking habits and forming new habits. But all of these types of triggers. Oh, and then rewards. Minus the sloppy. She might like it wet and sloppy. You never know, depending on what people like. But then have rewards too, for everything. When you are belly breathing, when you are showing her more affection, celebrate it. Find ways to celebrate the fact that you reward yourself. Even if you just do a little dance in the mirror that, yay, I did yoga great today. I belly breathed great. Yes, I feel accomplished. Celebrate with yourself. If others, celebrate with them. When you and your wife, you want to show her more love and y'all have those moments, celebrate that thing. Put both your foreheads, your third eyes together and just, look at each other and just express how much you care about one another. Sit with each other and share your heart energy with one another. Learn tantra and do a heart holds and things like that together. Just learn how to share energy and share time with one another. And you'll see things are great. Oh, look at that. Mr. Graham is tuning in it's 1:40 a.m. in the UK time. I appreciate you taking the time at 1:40 in the morning in the UK. Matter of fact, I gotta ship some popcorn to the UK as soon as I get the go ahead tomorrow. Um, Somebody said, Theo says, Zoe, are you on Facebook? Well, yes. Right now, I'm actually doing a simulcast both Facebook and YouTube. My YouTube page is Lorenzo Reed. My Facebook page is Lorenzo Dwayne Reed, or it's Coach Renz. Pick whichever one you want to go to. I would say go to Coach Renz because one day the YouTube page, Facebook page get filled up, and I'll push everything over to the coaching page because I'm expecting it to get filled up. But yeah, so when we create habits, definitely create rewards for you so that you can keep doing it. And I'm really tuned into the financial one and the relationship question, because that's where most of us struggle. We struggle with our weight as well, our health, but our relationships. Do you know how much better our lives would be if only our relationships were better? You know, you'd actually make more money if you had better relationships. You'd actually be in better health if you had better relationships. My Facebook is filled every day with different groups and different people who desire to have better relationships, and they're asking questions. And women want information from men, and men want information from women. And there are 7 billion people on the planet, and it's so god doggone hard to figure out which persons, or to find people that you're compatible with. But I would continuously say, what is his name? His name is Farrakhan said something as well that stuck in my brain when I was 20 years old. I was around 20 years old. He said that marriage is not the end of the relationship, but it's the beginning of the relationship. And that stuck in my brain. I remember I was actually on I-20 over in the West End area, headed west towards Douglasville, when I heard him say that. That's how much it stuck in my brain. I know exactly where I was, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I heard that. And it stuck in my brain. I know the exact people who was in the car with me, everything, because when he said it, it's something that just clicked, right? It made me say that, okay, getting married is easy. It's remaining married, that's the challenge. It's continuously making her feel like she's the most beautiful woman in the world, the most special woman in the world. And even when things start, going crazy, you gotta bring that stuff back. It was like, you still gotta have fun, you still gotta go do everything. No matter how much money you have or how little money you have, you still gotta be able to just enjoy each other's company, because you can have all the money in the world but can't stand being around each other. So it was like, okay, I heard that, and it was like, okay, that's what you do, right? And at the time, I was broke. I was an E3 in the Marine Corps, barely getting by. Matter of fact, the only reason I was on I-20 at that time is because family had to send me gas money in order for us to come home to visit, right? So, because it was a 4th of July weekend, and we had no money, but we still had fun all the time. Like, we were so broke that in order to go out for pizza and a movie, we could buy the pizza, and this other couple could buy the movie. So if we came together, we can get the pizza and the movie, but we couldn't do it individually. So, it was like that. But I'm telling you, that was some of the best times we ever had, because we always tried to have fun. We figured out everything we can do. Being spontaneous without fun is an amazing thing. But we always tried to look for fun. We look for things that didn't cost a lot. There's a military base that has a beach. Let's go to the beach. Oh, you can build a bonfire. Let's have a bonfire on the beach. You do all these kind of little things that you can find. And no matter where you are, there are tons of things that you can do where you don't need to have a lot of money in order to have fun. But that's also where communicating with one another is huge. Oh, I couldn't see your whole thing, Mr. Graham. Great stuff, Renz. How do you disseminate? How you disseminate the Kabbalion? Everyone should check Psyche. It is a self-help approach to reset the subconscious habit and to. Okay, I'll check that out. But yeah, it's just having fun, man. Just enjoying each moment with the person. You married that person, you got with that person because they made you feel a certain way. Why would you jeopardize that? Why are you letting that go? Right? Keep doing it. Shakespeare was born on the 23rd of April and dead on the 23rd of April. The number 23 is interesting. Also, the tyrant Hitler was dead on the 23rd of April. Stranger. Okay, I see that. I'm not sure how that fits into what we're talking about, but okay. got some information. Just a Simple Life. I'm good. Peace, bro. Been a minute. Yes, it has been. Haven't seen you in a while, bro. But yeah, just enjoying things with one another, creating those kind of habits, and life is going to happen. And you get older and you have experiences. So one of the ways is try to have as many experiences together. When you have experiences together, you build memories together. And then you can always sit around and talk about those memories and laugh and joke about those memories. So have as many experiences together. When I can tell you, one of the downfalls from the marriage I had with my kid's mother is that we started having a lot of experiences separate from one another, right? We started, I'm going to sporting events and she's not going. I'm going to the mountains with the kids and she's not going. She's doing things at the college and I'm not there. She's doing things with family and I'm not there, because I'm working all the time. Or I took a job that got me flying all over the country, so things are happening with the kids, they're growing, and I'm not there. I started building a business that kept me away from the house for like 16 hours a day, so things are happening and I'm not there. So we started having a lot of experiences, and that's just one thing. It's not what caused it, but we started having a lot of experiences that we weren't together, so we weren't growing together anymore, and so other areas where there were issues started blooming and going out of control in the relationship. Got to a point where it's like, I'm done, right? Instead of fixing it, it was, I'm done. If you start growing away from one another, if you start having separate experiences, you start developing differently, then it's mighty hard to keep the relationship. So grow together, have experiences together, have your struggles together, and have your happiness together. Definitely try to have more happiness than struggles. Let's see, somebody said something. The best date I ever had was sitting in the lake, having a picnic, watching the sunset and the moon rise. I'm telling you, that's a hot date right there. That's a hot date. Watching the sunset and the moon rise. The only thing you didn't say is we need a little music with a little jazz music and some candles and some wine and some grapes. That's a hot date. That's a good time. Just go do that kind of stuff. And as far as your money is concerned, like I was saying earlier, understand where you've been spending your money. Get the info. Get the data. Get that money. Get that info. Then realize, feel the pain of how you've been wasting your money. Feel it. That's right, Theo. Yeah. Feel the pain of how you've been wasting your money. And then start living differently. Live off 30% of live off 70% of what you make. Right? And if you're over 70% of what you make, like I said, go read The Richest Man in Babylon. Read I think it's the story of the camel trader, and it's the story of the English professor, of how they got out of debt. Of how they used 20% of what they made to pay off debt, 10% to invest into things that's going to bring them money, and then they lived off the 70%. And in 2.5 years, the English professor got out of debt, but they had also started building up a wealth basket, building up wealth. So, and then you'll get used to it. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can get used to something brand new when you're forced into it. So if you set yourself up so that you're only living off 70%, because I know a lot of you might now maybe saying that I can't afford to do that, but yes, you can. You can afford to do it. It ain't easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but maybe it means that you do cook at home. Maybe it means that you go on fewer dates, or you got to be more creative with your dating. Maybe it means that you don't go get a new car, or that you downgrade your car. Or maybe when your lease is up, you get a smaller place, or if you own your home, you go and refinance it. Maybe you fix your credit. You go through the process of fixing your credit so that you can refinance your home. You may, instead of going on 5 vacations, go on 3. You can do it. You can start chopping away at some of these things, and then you'll have more money to go towards building wealth, and you'll have more money to go towards eliminating debt. And the more debt you eliminate, the more you can put back towards building more wealth. As that wealth starts creating streams of gold coming into your household, now you start to live and have a better life. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it was really cool that when I was an IT guy and one of my contracts ended, and I didn't have to go find a job immediately. I mean, I had gained like all this weight, and I was like 300 pounds, and I spent like 6 months, and I didn't work for 6 months, and I lost like 70 pounds, before I started looking for a job. When I got in the military, I had 6 months of life. So the first month I played golf every day, and then I started looking for, income. So when you live your life like that, because even when I made six figures, my household was based off 55, K. So when you live your life like that, it brings so much peace, and you have less arguments in your house as well. You'll have less arguments. Trust me, all the fellas out there, let me tell you, if the finances are where she's comfortable, and she knows she's secure, you're gonna have less arguments, and she's gonna be more willing to do the things that you want. All right, she should be. If she's not, you might, I'm gonna say you need some help, because if you're doing your part and the other person's not doing their part, you got a problem here. We got a problem. So does anybody have any other habits? Because if we don't have any other habits, I will close this thing out, because I got some writing to do tonight, and I got some reading to do tonight, because I got to read some more of this tonight, because we're having our meetup tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the law of correspondence tomorrow. Coach, what's the other two books? The Richest Man in Babylon. Well, for you, because you want to talk about, because yours is about money, I'm going to tell you just two books, really. Two books. Richest Man in Babylon. Read it over and over and over and over and over again, and understand everything, so that you can make it form for you today. So read The Richest Man in Babylon, and read this. Read the Kabbalion. Right? These 7 Hermetic laws are the foundation of pretty much every form of wisdom that we have in the world today. Every form of wisdom. There's not you. If you came to me with your wisdom and said, "Oh, well, my wisdom is such and such," I can show you how your wisdom comes back here. So, and this was written. What the 3 initiates wrote came from the Emerald Tablets, and that's the oldest writing documentation that we have in history right now. So, Richest Man in Babylon, and that. Oh, and you know what? Sorry, Outwitting the Devil. Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil, because you need to get control over the negative portions of your brain. All right, you need to get control of fear. Right. So if you can get control of fear and break the same thing we're talking about, bad habits. Napoleon Hill calls them hypnotic rhythm. You get into a hypnotic rhythm, and the reason why he calls it rhythm is because in the Kabbalion, the Hermetic book, there's the law of rhythm, and the law of rhythm means that as far as you swing to the right, you'll swing that far to the left. So the idea is to polarize your swing to the right. But as long as you're living in fear, you'll make a lot of money, you'll lose a lot of money. You'll have some great love, you'll lose some, feel a lot of pain. You'll, just go back and forth. So you got to learn how to polarize to one side. Starting things and not finishing them, not being able to say no to people. All right, so starting things, let's start with the first one. Starting things and not finishing them. All right. I don't know if you saw the video I did the other day, but part of that video I talked about setting SMART goals. All right. So when you set a SMART goal, you're very specific. So it's a specific goal. So you already got that part. You know how to start something. Measurable. Well, how do you measure it as you go? You need to be able to measure and say, okay, I'm going to hit this milestone, that milestone, that milestone. Right? Then as you continue to hit your milestones, then you are able to So I'm going to throw something, because I want to throw something into the SMART goals that's not part of that, what I said the other day. But as you measure each one, celebrate the milestone. Right? Celebrate each victory. Right? That way, if you're celebrating each milestone, your brain will start to recognize that I get to celebrate again when I hit this next milestone. And so you'll have more, you'll vibrate higher to get to that next milestone. So celebrate so that your brain automatically pushes you to the next milestone. And keep doing that. And you'll get to the point where you complete the goal, right? I don't need the rest of the SMART goal to get there, just those two. You set it, it's specific, you measure it, and then celebrate each milestone. And that'll help keep pushing you until you get to completion. Not being able to say no to people. All right, not being able to say no to people. I had to go through this one myself 2 years ago, right? I realized something 2 years ago that has caused me more pain in my life than pretty much anything else. Not being able, and it's not so much not being able to say no to people for me. It was always wanting everybody to be happy, doing things and making decisions that makes everybody else comfortable and happy around me. And I know that my finances right now would be 10, 20 times greater if I had that under control. I know that my relationship life will be 10, 20 times greater if I had that under control. But because for at least 20 years of my life, I did not have that under control, my life is not as grand as it should be. But I finally broke that habit 2 years ago. And I broke that habit by saying one thing. How does saying yes, or how does trying to make everybody else happen, serve me? Sounds selfish. But the thing is that when what you do serves them, but is a disservice to you, then it's something you should not do. It makes it easier for you to say no. If somebody's asking you for money, but you know that money that you can't afford to lend that money out, but you want to help them, but you know it might put you in a financial situation, you have to say no because you said, does it serve me? Can I serve them without a disservice to myself? And if you can't serve them without a disservice to yourself, don't serve them. You don't serve people beyond, you don't serve people to a point where you hurt yourself. You have to always maintain, I cannot hurt myself in my decisions. Because that will haunt you for a long time. Trust me, it'll haunt you for a long, 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 long time. All right. I hope that was good for you. Results of food and the gym and religion and how they go hand in hand, which is diluted results. I'm not sure I'm understanding that one. So let me think about that. Results of food and the gym. Well, I think I understand what you're saying of how they all go hand in hand, but I'm trying to stay on subject tonight about breaking bad habits. I mean, some of our food habits are horrible because of religion, but some of our food habits are some food habits can be good if people follow their religion, their religious thing. Like if you read, where's the food stuff at? Is it Exodus or Deuteronomy? I mean, if you ate that way, actually it's a pretty healthy way of eating. You know, no scavengers and not the horrible parts of animals. But if you just eat no animals, that's even better. If you go back to Genesis and just no animals. I'm like that. I'm all about serving me first and great advice. Good. Can crystals help? If you understand how crystals harness certain energies and how to use that energy, then yeah, crystals and stones can help. But if you don't know how they work and how to harness them, and you're just going based on some flimsy or a little bit of information, you need to make sure you get some detailed information and really know what you're doing, because like people walk around with an ankh all the time, but they really don't understand the fullness of the ankh. So without understanding the fullness of this device, most people just say, oh, everlasting life is what it means, and it's the woman's uterus which gives birth to people. But do you also know that the ankh reverberates energy? That it was used to continue to let energy last and reverberate longer. Sexual energy was used to the analogy of the ankh is to ankh your sexual energy so that your sexual energy helps you to manifest even more, and it keeps vitality, it keeps your body, your vitality within your body. See, understanding more of it will give you more information. You can go get a book. Go get books on crystals, research crystals, find people who really know it. Like if you was here in Atlanta, I would tell you that there are different groups, meetup groups and stores where they have people who are they're really knowledgeable about it. I myself, I don't work with crystals because I don't know enough about them yet. But before we get to the summer, I will pretty much be a subject matter expert when it comes to crystals and stones. Give me to summer and trust, I'll be able to tell you things about them that the people who write books don't even know about them. All right. Facebook, what did Byron say? Many times I think about the early years of my relationship with my wife. Those great memories help me realize how much and why I love her. Makes me want to work on our relationship even more. Exactly. Byron is pulling on those memories. He's remembering what got him there, what made him just like, that's my woman, that's my chick. Love this chick. Those memories, pulling on those and holding on to them, and then going back and reliving that, and then physically relive it. You see, we can relive it in our mind. The first law of the Hermetic law is the law of mentalism. Yes, so everything starts in the brain. Everything starts as a thought. We create with our brain. But then we got to go out and we got to be the causal factor to create that effect that we had back then. So we then got to do that, which causes our vibration to increase and moves us up the polarity scale of showing more love and being in more love. And then we learn how to neutralize the polarity and stay there so that we don't rhythm back. But know that it takes both your male and female energy inside you first, raise that so that you can create that thing with your wife. That's what I'm talking about, Byron. See, we got to get the whole thing in there. Remembering is good, but let's get everything else in there. Just a simple say, where are you located? I'm in the Atlanta area. I'm in Alpharetta, Georgia, presently, which I don't like living in the suburbs, but I'm in Atlanta. Where's your local store? You can go to Uncle on Facebook. Go to Uncle Ren's Popcorn. Uncle Ren's RENZ Popcorn, and you'll see the address is 12330 Crabapple Road. In Crabapple Road in Alpharetta, Georgia. But the Facebook is on Facebook too. That way you ain't gotta try to remember it right now. She said, yes, if you follow the Israelite way of doing things in the Bible according to their dietary guidelines, you'll be fine. Yes, their dietary guidelines are very good. Now I'm gonna say they're very, very good if you're eating meat. Now, if you decide not to eat meat because you go back to like a Genesis dietary program, it's even better, right? Because I'm just been, and I'm not pushing anybody's religion. I'm not pushing anybody's religion away. I'm not trying to push American culturalism or any other Western culture away. A lot of the food is crap. When I was a trainer, I used to always tell people that a peach today has like 1/50th of the nutrition that it used to have 60 years ago, right? And yes, some seafood is better than beef. Hell, most seafood is better than beef, but crabs, they eat the bottom, what's at the bottom. Shrimp eat the bottom. Oysters, clams, they all eat the bottom. Sure, they got their own little filtration system, but they're bottom feeders. Lobsters are bottom feeders. All this stuff is bottom feeders. So if they're eating crap, then you eat them and you're eating crap. Plain and simple. And depending upon how animals are killed, you're eating the stress of those animals. Because you think about the crabs and lobsters, they throw them into boiling hot water and they scream, right? So stress is all in that meat. And then you're going to consume that stress cell, because transmutation is their cells becoming joined with your cells, right? Yeah, food is declining. It is. It's horrible. But so you have to think about all that. I even tried, yes, no meat is better. It's better. I mean, there are other sources of protein. Like I feel better, dude. Seriously, I feel like 10 times better. Don't tell Kevin that I'm saying this, okay? Don't tell Kevin. Anybody on here who know Kevin, don't tell Kevin, because he been talking bad about me for a while. But not eating meat has been one of the best decisions that I've made in recent times. I have more energy. I'm able to do things. Okay, so I'm 46 years old. I have no business jumping off of a counter that is about 6 feet in the air, right? You better not tell Linda. I got no business jumping off of a counter that's 6 feet in the air. But my Wi-Fi was messing up earlier today. And in order to get to it, there's a counter that I can stand on that's about 6 feet. 6 feet. Well, it's about 5'10", 5'10". But I climbed up on it. I fixed the Wi-Fi. I could have stepped down on the step ladder, but instead I jumped down. At 46 years old, I ain't got no business jumping down off nothing, but I did because I feel better, right? My body feels better. My body moves better. I was working with a client a few days ago, and I actually like squatted down, like, you know, you full squat down, knee full bend, all that kind of stuff. I haven't been able to do that for a while, but my body it feels better. It does. And because I have more energy, I've been meditating better. My meditation has been more focused and clear. So my meditation has been better. Just everything. My and excuse the way I'm gonna say this, but my get shit done attitude has been a heck of a lot better. Like, I've got so much done. I'm not watching What the Health. That's what Kevin kept on trying to get me to watch for like months, and I wouldn't watch it. But I don't need to watch it. I know that the way they make food is jacked up. I know the genetics they manipulating the genetics. I know. I don't need to see it. I've already made the see. Here's the thing. I already made the decision. So my conscious brain and my I'm not eating your little shrimp. I stopped eating. See, I stopped eating the bottom feeders a long time ago when I moved to Florida and all that seafood. I stopped eating bottom feeders back then. So in '97, I haven't eaten bottom feeders since '97. But I don't need to watch what the hell because I'm already there. My conscious brain, and my subconscious brain are already in agreement, and so my activity is already. I'm not watching it anyway, Linda, and my so that habit is already broken, right? The habit is broken. And at first I was saying, well, I eat meat whenever I want to, right? But even at that, the habit is already broken because I went out this past Saturday and I ate some meat and I didn't feel, I hate the way I felt afterwards. So now I had a negative reinforcement to make me say, I'm definitely not going to eat it. Theo said, how to kick the habit of not eating the meat is my problem and trying to stay off of it for, all right, so when I finally decided, now the rewards of it, even lamb is unhealthy, sure is. The rewards of it is that you start feeling better, and you start looking better, and your skin starts being better, and you know you'll start to feel. But of course, it takes you a little bit of time to get there because your body has to eliminate all those toxins. I'm gonna tell you the best thing that happened is that I found good recipes. My whole thing was that I love fruit, and I can eat fruit all day. All day. I've been eating like a bag of grapes and apples and oranges like it's going out of style. But making the other meals, the other protein meals with the little chickpeas and all these other little kind of little beans and stuff like that, but making it taste really good. Getting recipes that make it taste good. Because at first I was cheating. I was going to Chipotle, you know, and I was getting it, and I was getting their stuff, and that tofu stuff is gross. I don't like it. But just making good. Finally, there's some recipes out there. There are people on my Facebook. I wish she was on here, Michelle. Michelle shows pictures of her food, and I want to go to California just to eat at her table, you know. But yeah, I still go to Chipotle. I just don't get the tofu. I just get a veggie burrito. I need to know how to wean off meat too. It's really and you can wean yourself. You can start saying, well, today is a meatless day. Tomorrow I might have a burger. Oh, you just said that. Have you tried the Beyond Meat burger? No, I don't even go for, and that's another thing. I'm not gonna fake myself out. I did try like these meat looking, tofu looking things for beef and all that kind of stuff. And then I realized all I'm doing is telling my brain that I really want meat, but I'm gonna get this substitute. Just get vegetables. Just eliminate even the look of meat because your receptors, your eyes, you're still seeing meat. You know, a black bean burger is different because you know it's a black bean burger. It's not we're trying to make it look like a burger, but just your eyes are not saying it. You're not trying to trick yourself, but it's all about honesty. I said earlier that in from 95 to 96, I conditioned myself to never lie again, right? That I'm just not going to lie. So don't ask me a question you don't want both sides of the answer, right? But I can't lie to myself. Your throat chakra won't open if you're up there lying to yourself. So don't lie. Just say, all right, I'm not gonna eat meat. This little stuff. It looks like meat, tastes like meat. I'm vegging. I'm eating vegetarian stuff. I got these little. I don't know all the different. It's another kind of thing, and I eat it, but I don't know how to say it. And hey Nicole, Stephanie, how you doing? I always want to call you Nicole, but. I don't know what it's called. It's some kind of chickpea looking bean things. It starts with a Q, but I don't think it's pronounced that way. Little thing, and it's real filling, and it's a protein. So I eat that, and I'm filled. Tonight I had a Southwest. That what you just wrote, just Simple Life. Is quinoa. When I see it, I can know what it is. So quinoa. So if you guys on Facebook, he wrote quinoa. But quinoa is good to have in your meals because when you have that, it fills you. It gives you that feeling that was one of the struggles I had with going vegetarian, is that I never felt full. And when every time I tried it when I was a personal trainer, it really doesn't work because I was exerting so much energy that I needed it, right? That, I always felt empty. But the quinoa and the chickpeas, those things makes me feel like, I'm getting a good full feeling. So it doesn't, it works for me. I don't start having meat cravings. Dak said, I'm a vegan since December last year. Great feeling. Good job. And he's going a step further than me. I'm going to vegan. Like I said, I'm gonna have me some cream with my coffee. I heard some fruits and vegetables are hybrids, which is why, you still have to even be mindful of those. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna be perfect, and you're probably not gonna be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I mean, every food you eat is not gonna be a perfect food. But just you try to do it as best you can. I mean, unless you can grow gardens and stuff in your backyard and you can grow all your food, which is not a bad idea. Grow all your food, the more of your own food you can grow, the better. That'll work too, So grow your own food, to make it work. Oh, I didn't know you can pin a comment on your Facebook. But yeah, so if you got room to grow stuff, grow stuff. Coconut milk creamer will work for your coffee. Linda always trying to do something different. God, no. Can't a brother just have his one vice, Linda? Can I have one? That caramel macchiato creamer is good. But I'll look for it. I'll look for your coconut milk creamer. But if it tastes like coconut, I'm not going to like it. I can tell you right now. Because the taste of coconut, to me, is gross. So that's not going to like it. Right? Yeah, and we all have our struggles. I'm not going to be perfect. So that might... Look, I gave up ice cream. All right? And y'all got to understand, I love ice cream. I'm lactose intolerant, and I love ice cream. I own a gourmet popcorn and ice cream shop. I'm surrounded by ice cream. So I gave up ice cream. So let me have my creamer. Okay? Can I have my creamer? I gave up the ice cream. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like coconut. Can't do it. Can't do it. Coconut's gross. It's a gross thing. Well, we are starting to wind down. So before we wind down, just a couple of housekeeping things that I want to get out there. One, some of you guys know that I do a podcast with Kevin Wesley on Sunday nights. I definitely want you guys to join us there on Sunday nights for that podcast as we stop talking to me about almond milk, as we try to enlighten people. Of course, I always try to I always want us to bring it to a teaching moments and every time we do our videos. But it's really just about putting out the information and letting people do what they want to do. Right? Yes, you have been missing in action, and I've noticed that. Just a Simple Life. I noticed it. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I wasn't gonna put you on blast out here, but I noticed it. But so we do that podcast. I plan to be here every Tuesday night for an hour and a half. To do the Zen of Rens, where we talk spirituality on Kevin's show. On here, we're going to be talking some spirituality. We're going to talk relationships. We're going to talk about Tantra. We're going to talk about Hermetics. We're going to talk about money and health and everything. Because I'm not one-dimensional, neither are you guys. Your lives are not one-dimensional. So we want to talk about everything. Also, housekeeping. Oh, if you're on the YouTube channel, if you want to support that, there's always the super chat buttons that you can hit if you want to donate anything. But you can also join my Patreon. Got a couple people who's on my Patreon right now, and I appreciate them because that way we can grow. See, I want to get better cameras and that sort of thing. Thank you. I'm glad my videos are helpful, Nixie. And so if you want to support that way, but also I want you guys to start out 2018 really, really well. So what I'm doing is I reduced the price points of my webinars on the 11 Path to Your Greatness, which is 11 things that block your greatness and 11 things you need to do to manifest your greatness. Financially on Fire, which is where we get deep into finances, where we talk about credit and how credit works and how we can fix your credit. And I used to give out a letter for free, but I'm not giving that letter out for free anymore. So if anybody's watching this and they've seen my other videos about finances, if you've never gotten that letter, don't ask me for it because I'm not giving it out for free anymore. It's only the people who participate in Financially on Fire will get that letter. And when I got divorced and I had a bunch of crap on there, I knocked off like 80% of the things that was on my credit that was negative got knocked off because of that letter. And then there's a longer process to go through to get the rest of the stuff off. But we're also going to talk about the rules and the laws and everything that deals with the rich 7 cures of a lean purse, the 5 rules of gold. We're going to get into deep detail and bring those things into today's world for understanding. And then the last seminar is leadership. It's Hermetic leadership, how to lead. And this is not just about leading at work. This is also about leading in your own personal life and leading you as an individual, but leading your family as well, and knowing how to lead. I recognize that this world has lost its ability to produce leaders. So we're going to talk about hermetically leading people in the same way that I built leaders as a Marine. So I want you guys, so if you want to participate in them, they're on my Facebook, on my website, coachrenz.com/coaching. If you can do them individually, there's going to be the first 3 Saturdays of January. They're $44 each, a webinar. You'll have access. Now, when you do it, whichever webinar you sign up for, every time I do that webinar for the next 12 months, you will be able to participate in it so you can get the repetition. All right, so the one-time purchase gets you a full year. You can either pay for each one of them individually, or you can get all 3, and it's on the page. You can get all 3 for $89. So it's like you're buying 2 and getting 1 for $1. Right, and then that way you'll be able to repeatedly do it. And then as I introduce others, the people who are already who already did seminars will always get a code to be able to get a discount on anything else that I'm doing. So with that, I want to close out and say I really, really, really appreciate you guys. I had someone who I respect recently, they reiterated to me that I really should focus on doing the things that I love the most. Although I love building business, don't get me wrong, but I love this right here. I love coaching and I love teaching. I love studying and I love seeing that study put into action. That's one reason why I'm not giving out that letter anymore, because I gave out that letter to like 300 people and not one of them had actually used the daggone letter, which pissed me off, which is why I took it away. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kudos there. Now, Miss Cole, now you want to ask me about procrastination? Go back and rewatch this video. I talked about how to break procrastination. Set triggers. But really set those triggers so that you can break your procrastination. Like I said, for me, I procrastinate, I clap my hands, and that causes me, I knew I created that so that I can get up and start doing what I need to do. Every time I'm just sitting back, procrastinate, let's go, let's get it. But you guys have been great. I appreciate it. LaShawn, you're going to have to go back and watch it, bro, because we closing. But y'all been great, and it's 1:38, and like I said, I'm reading this book again tonight, The Kabbalion, and The Richest Man in Babylon. Gonna read that one too now that I think about it. But no, I'm reading this book, and so y'all have a great night. I enjoyed it, and good night. Remember, you gotta free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.